there, it's Tanya Taylor of Grow Your Wealth TV, and in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things you need to do in these uncertain times. If you're new to my channel, I cover topics such as savings, getting out of debt, learning how to invest, and creating a sound financial plan so that you can retire worry-free. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to be notified of new videos, just hit the bell and you'll be notified once I have new contents. Now I'm going to jump right in and talk about 5 things that you can be doing in these uncertain times. With the extended COVID pandemic worldwide and so many changes happening, sometimes so quickly and sometimes not quick enough. In some ways, scary for many people to think about what the future may hold. Are they going to have a job in the next few months? Many people are already laid off. And some of the questions that are coming up is what can be done, especially if I am still working, to plan for the uncertainty that's ahead. So the first thing that I want to talk about is to continue to educate yourself. If you currently are still working, or even if you're not, this could be applicable to you. There are a lot of free courses that you could get online or low cost courses that you can take to enhance your skills so that you can transition into another role. So if your job offers classes, you want to take advantage of those. If you can get a certification program, you want to do that. And then you also just want to educate yourself on how you can branch out and do things on your own, that whether it is that you can freelance or you can start your own business. Those are all very viable options that you can consider, especially with the internet. The second thing that you want to do, and this is so important, and it is to build up your emergency fund. If you don't know if you're going to be having a job in the next few months, you want to make sure that you have something set aside. And so you want to, as best as you can, start building up that emergency fund so you can have that money. Now, I know the government sent out stimulus checks and they're supposed to be sending more out. Take that check, put it in an account, and use it to start building up your emergency fund. You're now home from work as opposed to commuting every day where you may have been paying for gas, you may have been paying for transit, you may have been paying for parking. That's all money that you are no longer spending. Similarly, you may have been paying for breakfast and lunch. Take all of that funds and start building your emergency fund. And before you know it, you should have a nice amount set aside for these uncertain times. In line with that, number 3 is to really monitor your spending. There are a lot of things that you won't be spending on anymore, and I just covered some of those in step 2. However, there are also things that you want to cut back on as well. So if you were someone who are accustomed to doing online shopping, especially now that you're home, you might be seeing a lot of sales out there. You have to ask yourself, do I need these items, or can I wait to get them, or do I even need them at all? Because a lot of times we see the sale and we get the urge to spend, but we don't necessarily need the items. You also want to just take a look at how you are spending now that you're home and seeing if there are still other areas that you can cut back on. So for example, I know that energy bill is going to be high for many people, including myself. We're all home now and the air condition is constantly running. So one of the things that we can do is, if you have a backyard, go out in the backyard and sit back there so that the air condition could get a break. Also, does all of the air condition need to be on in all of the rooms? Or if you have central air, is there a way to monitor it so that you can only have it on in the rooms that you're using as opposed to having it everywhere? That's another way that you can cut back. It is also tempting to go out or to order out even though you're home, even though we're home, because I'm going to include myself as well. So instead of ordering out, put something on the stove, get the children together if you have children, and cook a meal together. That's a great skill that the children can be picking up, and that's another way to save money. So you want to look at all of the different areas that you're spending in and seeing how you can save instead and take that money and put it away in your emergency fund for the uncertainty. Now, This should already be a part of your investing strategy, but if it's not, you want to go and take a look at your portfolio and make sure that it's diversified across industries and also across different investment type. So in generally, the way that investment work is, if the stock market is doing well, maybe the bond market is not returning as much, and vice versa. So do you have bonds? Do you have stocks? You may determine that you don't need bonds yet because you're too young, which is fine. But if you're just invested in stock, you want to look at your stock portfolio and see whether or not do you have some defensive stock in that portfolio where no matter what happens to the market, those stocks may not perform as badly as some other stocks. And especially if you're getting older, and older meaning, okay, you're not in your 30s anymore, you're not even in your early 40s anymore, but you're getting up to that 50s and close to 60. What does your portfolio look like, and can it withstand an extended period where the stock market is down? This should already be a part of your investing strategy, but if it's not, you want to revisit it to see if there are tweaks or changes that you could make. So you want to look at all of those different components and make sure that you're comfortable in making sure that you are diversified enough that you're not going to be losing a large portion of your investments. Comment below and let me know if that makes sense to you. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is focus on the long haul. Now is a time that it's very daunting for a lot of people and they're still trying to figure it all out. If you're one of those fortunate individuals who you still have your job in place, you still have everyone is healthy and well, other than being grateful for that, think also strategically how you are planning long term and whether or not you need to adjust any of that. Think about whether or not investment opportunities exist now. For example, interest rate is really low now. If you were thinking of purchasing property, is now a good time for you to purchase. And if you were thinking of relocating, is now still a good time to relocate, or do you even need to reconsider that entire strategy that you have about relocating given what's happening now? So, while this is a time that's very difficult for a lot of people, it's also a time for reflection and a time for opportunity. So, depending on where you are on that spectrum, you just have to think about how you're going to be impacted and what are some of the things that you can do right now to continue to plan for the future. And given the uncertainty, how can you prepare in the event that you no longer have a job? What are some other things that you would recommend that someone do in this time of uncertainty in terms of planning for their financial future? I would love to hear from you. You can also check out my other videos that I have in my retirement series.